Wow, what a week this has been. So many things happening. I will catch you up in just a minute. Everyone, this is episode 5. Okay, so a little bit of my sob story. Our air conditioning went out during this heat wave that we're having, so we had fans going everywhere on Sunday, making it impossible for me to be able to record anything, which is reminding me that I need to get ahead on these episodes so that I can get them posted for you on time. We're going to keep this going. I promised you an episode each week, and here it is on Wednesday, June 25th instead of the 22nd. But it's good. We're all good. We're moving forward, and I got a little bit of extra help maybe to keep me on track here. Okay, so last time we talked about putting 3 fingers down. We marked your violin so that now you know where everything belongs, and we were talking about getting all 3 down and on the tips with the right shape of the wrist. So hopefully you've been able to work on that. Don't worry if you're still struggling a little bit or if you're having to take a lot of time to put fingers down. Accuracy and intonation, remember, is always more important than speed right now. The speed will come when the accuracy is there. So today we're going to put together our musical sandwich. So last time we worked on bread, which is the first 2 lines of the sheet music that I posted on my website. Now we're going to work on these layers, the 2 layers in between, and then the bread that we learned last week will end the song, thus the musical sandwich. Bread, 2 layers, bread. With the layers, you can call them whatever you want. For this video, I'm going to refer to it as peanut butter. So let's talk about peanut butter. What's going to be different about peanut butter? Well, peanut butter is going to start on the E string with your Mississippi hot dog rhythm. Then go to 3 on the A, 2 on the A, then first finger. It stops with first finger. It does not go to the open A. That's part of bread. This note sounds incomplete here, and that's on purpose because it leads the song into the next part, right? We're going to do that exact same thing again. 2 layers of peanut butter on your sandwich. So E, 3, 2, 1. All right, we got an idea of how this works? Let's try our 2 layers of peanut butter right in a row. 1, 2, ready, go. 3 fingers, ready, go. 2 fingers, ready, go. 1 finger, ready, go. Nice. Now go back to open E. 3 fingers, ready, go. 2 fingers, ready, go. 1 finger, ready, go. Okay, that's your 2 layers of peanut butter. That's what you need to complete your Mississippi hot dog song. So let's go ahead right now and play all of it. I'm going to slow down just a little bit, and we're going to play Mississippi hot dog, bread, 2 layers of peanut butter, and then bread. All right, are we ready? Mississippi hot dog all the way through. I'm going to call out the fingers for the first bread and the first peanut butter, but then I'm going to stop calling out the fingers and you can just keep going with me. All right, here we go. Mississippi hot dog, 1, 2, ready, bread. E string. First finger. E string. 3 on A, here we go. 2 on A. 1 on A. Open A. Okay, back to E string. 3 on A. 2 on A. 1 on A. bread. All right, nice work. As a bonus, on my channel, on the YouTube channel, there is already a slow play video of me playing Mississippi Hot Dog. It's an older video, but it's still the song all the way through, nice and slow, so that you can continue practicing it with me. Now, let's move to the next thing because I have something extra for you. We need to learn some other rhythms and some different ways to control the bow so that we can get ready for what I'm going to bring you next week. Okay? One of the rhythms that I like to add next is this one called Jack Rabbit Eats Carrots. Just like with Mississippi Hot Dog, the syllables of the words are going to help you remember the rhythm. Jack Rabbit Eats Carrots. All right? Long, short, short, long, short, short. What I'd like you to do with this rhythm is try to get comfortable with moving to another part of the bow. Right now you're probably playing mostly in the middle with smaller bow strokes. But with Jackrabbit Eats Carrots, on those longer notes, I'd like you to move a little bit outside your comfort zone right now. So I have the short strokes that are closer to the bottom of the bow or the top of the bow, right? The tip to the frog, to the tip, to the frog. If you're not able to make your bow stroke quite as big as the one that I'm making, that's okay. I just want you to push beyond what you're doing right now. And in fact, go ahead and grab those finger tapes because I'm going to show you something you can do to help you improve using the length of your bow. Okay, there's no precision required when it comes to marking the bow. Don't worry about being exact. We're just trying to give you a visual on your bow until you learn how to use the bow strictly by the way that it feels, okay? The two places I like to mark the bow are starting at the balancing point of your bow. So there's this point where if you move it just right, the bow will balance on your fingertip. Almost there. See if I can get this here. Almost. All right, there's my balancing points right about here. On my bow, you can see it's several centimeters from the end of the bow. Okay? Find that balancing point and let's go ahead and take one of your finger tapes that you had used before. If you don't have any finger tapes, find something that's not super sticky to put on the bow stick. Try to not touch the hairs as much as possible. Okay? What about your balancing point, right? We're going to put a little bit of a tape mark on the bow, not on the hairs. Okay, there's my first mark. Next, we're going to mark the upper third of the bow. So what I want to do is I want to find the halfway point between the mark I just made and the end of the hair that you can play on. So that's right about there. So let's get some yellow tape and mark that one. You can use whatever again you want. Okay, now that we have our bow marked into thirds, let me show you the Jackrabbit Eats Carrots rhythm again and pay attention to where these marks move as I play the rhythm. Starting at the red tape, so near the balancing point, I'm going to pass the yellow tape. Trying to make my longer bow strokes go from the red tape to the yellow tape and make my shorter ones dance around there somewhere. At the balancing point, go to the yellow tape, play your rabbit, now eats, and then carrots. You do not have to precisely stay around these marks. Again, this visual is so that you see the red tape pass and the yellow tape pass to know that you're getting closer to the upper third of the bow. You might notice as you try to get closer to your hand here that you get this crunchy noise, especially if you're using the beginner's bow hold. We're still kind of learning the wrist shape, and we haven't even talked yet about tilting the bow a little bit. If your bow is starting to stick away from your face a little bit, that's okay. We're not going to worry about that, and you don't need to add that tilt right now. It might naturally happen a little bit as you're getting to the lower part of the bow. You might notice my bow arm shape is going to change as I get closer to the tip of the bow. And it takes a little time for your arm to get comfortable with this motion and decide when it needs to rotate the bow stick, okay? For now, what I want you to be concentrating on is not squeezing the bow too hard, keeping your fingers in a nice loose grip, and just trying to travel from tape to tape. We're also going to need this when we start playing the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star theme, having those nice longer bows, okay? Now that you have your bow marked, let's try Jackrabbit Eats Carrots, and we're going to use the same finger pattern, bread, peanut butter, bread, that we use for Mississippi hot dog. All right, Jackrabbit Eats Carrots with the finger patterns from Mississippi hot dog. Here we go. Jack, rabbit eats carrots. 1, 2, ready, go. E, 3, 2, 1, back to E, 3, bread. There you go. You now have 2 rhythms that you can play with our finger pattern. The most common questions that I get at this level, after you've been playing for a few weeks on violin, are 1, when do we get to play on the lower strings? And 2, why are we learning so many rhythms? I can answer both of them for you in a way that I think is going to satisfy your curiosity. With violin, oftentimes we start on the A and E string, but if you're learning in a school environment where you're playing with cellos and violas, you might actually start on the D and A string, which are the 2 center strings. We narrow it down to 2 strings and keeping the same finger patterns on both strings just to simplify the process for the learner, and so you get a little bit more control with the bow. If you really want to explore the D string, you can take everything that we've just learned and move it over 1 string and it'll still work. So let me show you as an example using our Jackrabbit Eats Carrots rhythm and our finger pattern. So instead of going open A, open E, 1 on E, open E, I can actually start on my D string, then go to open A, first finger A, play it this way too. If you really want a little variety in what you're doing, you can switch over a string, no problem. Try not to add too much too soon. Bow control is really important right now, and your body and brain are still trying to figure out how to make all of this work together so that in the long term you can get the best sound out of your violins. Take your time, but if you're really getting bored with just A and E, you can move it over one string. The second question was, why are we learning so many different rhythms? This all comes down to bow control. These are actually very common rhythms. 4/16 notes and 2/8 notes, or the Jackrabbit Eats Carrots rhythm. You're going to hear this show up in songs as we move forward. But I really want you to work on getting comfortable with the bow while the left hand has relatively simple things to do. You've gotten pretty good at this pattern 3-2-1-0. When we start getting into more complicated songs where you're really focused on that left hand, you're not going to have a lot of brain power to go to the right hand on the bow. So that's what we're focused on right now, getting the best tone and best control that you can have in your bow. That being said, make sure you're taking the time to explore your bow, right? You could still do things that we haven't necessarily gone over here. You can go back to playing open strings. See if you can pass both of those tape marks and get rid of that crunch that sometimes happens to people when they're learning to play under the hand, right? Get comfortable with letting your bow arm move and having a relaxed grip. One of the things that we're going to be able to do as you progress is to loosen this grip up so that your fingers have this flexibility. When somebody lands, they bend their knees, right? We want to be able to bend at all of our joints, and having that nice and relaxed and trying to allow the bow to move across the strings without pressure, without squeezing. That's what your focus is right now. Yeah, you're getting some fingers down. Yes, we're listening to our intonation with our left hand, but we have lots of time to focus on doing more things with the left hand. I think your time is best used right now just trying to get the most beautiful tone that you can. Let's get through our entire musical sandwich with Mississippi Hot Dog and Jackrabbit Eats Carrots. Next week, I'm going to show you a few more rhythms and a little tune that I came up with to help you exercise your fingers called the 3-Finger Tango. I will see you next week.